Whether you are buying your first home, your middle home, or your last home, you always want to make sure that your home is a good investment and that it will go up in value rather than have the risk of it falling below value and putting yourself into financial debt. So, how do you do that? One surefire way of making sure that your home is a good return on investment is not buying the biggest home on the street. So, if you're looking at a neighborhood, subdivision, or area, you never want to be the biggest home on the block or the nicest home on the block. Why? That sounds counterintuitive. People love buying turnkey ready homes, move-in ready homes, fully finished. I get it. I get it. I get it. I really do. But if you're looking to make it a good investment, you don't want to be the best home or the biggest home on the block simply because that house will always be the parameter for the market. So if home values are up, that house will carry your house up, 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 and away as it turns over. If the market's down, that will drag your home down because the faster that goes down, the faster your home goes down. So that's kind of a safe bet as to making sure that your home always has value, is making sure that you have great comparables in your neighborhood and that they're always going to increase in value because you're not the best home on the block. Second way to make sure that your home always increases in value is buying a home that needs work. So work could be, bear with me here, I know people don't like doing work. It could just simply be a simple bathroom renovation or a kitchen renovation, or maybe finishing a basement, or paint, or flooring, or changing fixtures and doors. Like light fixtures are a big thing for people. Up that you'd be surprised how much paint and updating light fixtures and updating hardware in kitchens and bathrooms can really change a space and really add value. I always believe that if you're trying to find value in a good home, you should be buying something that needs work, whether that is any of the things I just said or some upgrades that people can see value in. Seeing value, that's another thing here, is if you're looking for selling a property or increasing the value of a property, you have to go to what buyers are looking for. We call these your power rooms, kitchens, bathrooms, master bedrooms, en-suites, basements, and so much and so forth. If you buy a house that needs a new roof and new windows, for example, not really what we're talking about here. When you are selling a house that has a new roof and new windows, buyers just expect those things to function. That's just like, that's a function of the house. They expect those things to be in working order. And if they're not in working order, they are then going to negotiate your price down because they don't want to pay for that whole thing. And rightly so. If you lived in the house for 20 years, you got to enjoy the full lifespan of a roof. There should be some negotiation there. You should at least be doing the roof before you sell it. My opinion only. But the power rooms, kitchens, bathrooms, masters, and suites, basements, living rooms, the rooms that people are going to be living in. Those are the rooms and the finishes that you can really see a good return on your investment. I always say kitchens are typically $2 to $1 if you do it right. Some quick ways of doing that would be, if you're going to do a kitchen, but you're not handy, hire it out, but demo it yourself. Take the kitchen down to the studs yourself. Get some buddies, get some sledgehammers, get some beers over the weekend, get a little dumpster, and rip everything out yourself. So that way, when the contractors come in to do the work to put in your new kitchen, they are ready to go and nothing's in their way and I don't have to waste time doing demo. And if you're moving appliances, if you're moving plumbing, if you're moving wiring, everything's pretty accessible for plumbers and electricians to be able to move stuff around, and that'll save you a lot of money. And then build from scratch. So once you have all the plumbing and wiring in, do your own drywall. Hang up your drywall. If you're not good at mudding and taping, hire that out. That's an art. Don't do that yourself. And then the cabinet guys who are installing your new kitchen can come in and work with a clean space. That's a great trick to save yourself some money if you don't feel comfortable doing all these renovations yourself, but you still want to protect value in your home. I would highly recommend doing that. Bathroom's the same thing. If you want to do a bathroom renovation to really increase the value, once again, do the demo, do the removal, get rid of all the shit yourself. Do it yourself. You can demo anything yourself. Get some sledgehammers. That stuff is easy. Then let the pros come in and do their job. If you really want to make a return, 3 to 1 on kitchens, 2 to 1 on bathrooms, potentially 3 to 1 on bathrooms, you're going to have to get handy. You're going to have to do it yourself. DIY masterclass. Call electricians who are friends, call plumbers who are friends, see if they come out and show you a few tricks and stuff. We've done that in our own home, and it's worked out really well for us in our home renos, and we've built quite a lot of value in our house just by the stuff that we've done. Flooring, you can lay flooring. I don't care what anyone says. If I can lay flooring, you can lay flooring. That's a great way to put value in a house. I guess pretty much what I'm saying here, if you want to try and make sure that your home always has value, be prepared to do some work to it and force the equity and value into the home by those power rooms that we talked about. Another great way to make sure your home has value is do your market analysis, do your research, look at good comparables. Comparables, homes that have sold recently for that are similar size, square footage, bathrooms, bedrooms, finishes, floor plans, layouts. That'll help you determine where the market's sitting for fully finished homes. If a brand new finished home is sitting at $500,000 in your neighborhood and you've got something in the area that is not finished well, really old and dated, but that's listed at 420, 499, right? You probably can negotiate that a bit these days just because houses are sitting a little longer, but it's a good comparable, right? Then you're looking at but a $500,000 on a $419,000 bill on a $419,000 comparable is a good comparable for the renovations that you're doing. If you can do a kitchen for 20 grand, if you can do a bathroom for 10 grand, if you can do this stuff on your own and just cover the costs and do the labor yourself, you can see a great return. That's why when you're doing your own home renovations and you're really trying to figure out if your home's a good investment, look at comparables, look at what sold recently, look what someone's really paid for a house, and then do your math there because that's a great way. We've in our house we've put in, we bought at 230, we did about $100,000 worth of work, which would put us at 330, and we just got reappraised at over 500,000. So our work has really done well for us, but it's taken 3 years. We've done a lot of DIY. We've made a lot of mistakes, but the equity and value is there. I'm not worried about my house now. I know for a fact I'm sitting on a really good asset. The next thing is understanding what's happening in an area or a neighborhood. So, for instance, if you grew up in Halifax and you're familiar with Halifax, if you had gone back, it's 2026. If you had gone back 15 years ago and told someone that Indigo Shores, which didn't exist at the time, Middle Sackville was a really good place to place your money, would have never happened. Would have never heard, or even Spryfield 15 years ago. You told someone back then that Spryfield would be a good place to make some money. No one would believe you. Now, understanding what's happening in markets can really help you have an advantage in real estate. So Halifax is rapidly growing. Back 10 years ago in 2016, we started seeing population increase. Indigo Shores and Governor's Brook and Spryfield and Indigo Shores and Middle Sackville were neighborhoods that were being built by developers to sell for new construction. At the time, those two markets weren't really appealing, but if you think about it, Halifax was fastly growing. We were running out of units for sale, running out of apartments, running out of inventory. So the city had to build outwards, which meant that people got more and more inclined to move within 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes of the downtown core because that commute wasn't so bad. Well, good areas that families want to live into that are family friendly and good brand new built construction homes. That's another great way to win in the market. If you had bought Indigo Shores in 2016 or Governor's Brook in 2016, you would have done really well today. And that's without doing any work. Those are brand new homes. I had a client who bought a brand new construction in Governor's Brook for around 290,000. Just sold it for over 600,000 just because of what the market's doing. So understanding what's happening in your market is another great way of making some money. Another great tidbit is understanding what's happening in other markets. So I give the example of Greenwood lately because we do a lot of military moves. We've talked to a lot of people moving to Green. We've helped a lot of people move to Greenwood, Nova Scotia very recently. And the things that we're hearing from the military folk is, yes, the Canadian military has decided that Greenwood is going to be one of the largest, if not the largest air base in Canada over the next decade. So if I was looking to make some money in real estate and or buying my first house in that area or in the valley, I'd probably be looking at Greenwood just because I know that there's going to be demand. It's a high growing area. They're going to put well-paying jobs there and they're going to eat supply because you're not going to build enough homes in Greenwood to cater to how many people are relocating to Greenwood. So that's another way to make sure that you are well invested in a good area. The last thing I would say is people don't know about this, purchase plus improvements mortgage. So for instance, this is a great way to make money, or a great way to make money in your house is, let's say you're buying that house at 419,000. Let's say you want to do some work to it just to bring up the value in it a little bit based off that $500,000 comparable. You can go to your more negotiate, hopefully, a $410,000, $405,000 purchase, better deal. But then you can tack on 20, 30, 40,000 if you can qualify for the mortgage. The way that works is you can get the work done first. So kitchen, bathroom, let's just say 40 grand. Do a lot of the work yourself. If you can do a lot of that work yourself, the bank will actually give you money for the home renovations. Now, this is a key detail. They do not give you the money first. They give you the money after the work has been completed. So, how do you come up with 40 grand to make sure the work gets completed and then get paid out? Simply put, you do a lot of the work yourself. You try nickel and dime it, but also if you're working with specific contractors in Nova Scotia that we work with, people understand how purchase plus improvements work. Contractors understand that you're gonna get a large lump sum of money at the end of the road when the work's been completed. So that would be something that you guys can work out. It might be a larger deposit. It might be payment plans. It might be something you can work out with your contractor. But essentially speaking, purchase plus improvements is simple. We did $230,000 purchase and then we added $40,000 on the mortgage, $270,000 total. We agreed to do new heating system, new flooring, new kitchen, new bathroom, and roof. I think is what we said we were going to do. The bank signed off on all these things because they saw the picture of the house, realized the house was dog shit, and but we had to get the work done. So when we got all the work done, the bank sent out an appraiser, and then we got a check, a direct deposit of $40,000 in my bank account just for the work we completed. So you will be made whole. You're just paying for it on the mortgage. It's going to add like $30, $40, $50 to a monthly payment. Not a big deal. Not going to kill you. That's also a really great way to make some money in real estate is just by building your renovation costs into your mortgage and then working with a preferred partner and contractor to be able to get you through that phase of getting this work done. Other than that, man, that's all my tidbits about how to make sure your house is a good investment. My real advice is simple: be ready to do some sweat equity. Sweat equity is the way to force equity or value into a home to be able to make sure that it is a good investment for you and your family. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We'd love to chat. Have a good day.